no naughty, no punish, no garbage day, and absolutely nothing nice about it. But hey, it's got telepathy and a mute Bill Moseley. We watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Better watch out. We watch it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moongoons? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, and all the other stuff out there that you celebrate. Who knows? Whatever it is you do, you be you guys. Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me, as always, is my Rudolph to my Santa, my Frosty to my... I ran out of holiday things already. Fuck it. Mr. Aaron Southern is here already.
Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. The first day of Hanukkah is today, as of recording.
Did I forget? I went to Kwanzaa over Hanukkah.
It's okay. Meh, it's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Christmas is days away now. So we're,
Yeah, I'm glad we're squeaking one in before Christmas. Last week, I know we got snowed in.
Yeah, last week, guys, if you listen to the ending of our last episode, we talked about how the next episode was supposed to be a Black Christmas kind of face-off showdown comparison of the remake, the 2006 remake and the original, because the newest remake had just come out in theaters.
Friday 13th, yeah.
Friday 13th. But the snow apocalypse hit St. Louis, and the weather, we got snowed in for like 2 days. And
yeah, if we get over 3 inches, we're screwed.
Yeah.
So we got 7.
Yeah, so we were unable to do it, and then due to some personal stuff in Aaron's life, we were unable to. He was unable to have time to get to it and make up for it. So we just basically had to cut it, and we're doing Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Better watch out. We're continuing our tradition. We've done the first 2, so you can go back and if you want to check out our reviews on our takes on the first 2 and our archives. So this has become a Christmas tradition here at Horrible Horror.
Yeah.
Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. And in the spirit of Christmas and giving, since Aaron loves the holiday season so much, and he loves these movies, this is going to be an Aaron episode. I am giving the reins over to Aaron. The reins to the sleigh goes to Aaron today. He's looking really confused, like he doesn't know that was a thing. All right, so we just took a little break.
I did not know that was a thing.
Apparently, a while ago, I had told Aaron, hey, you love these movies so much, I'm going to give you the reins to this and let you run the Silent Night, Deadly Night episode because you love the holiday movies so much. And apparently... he didn't realize, I guess somehow he missed that and
flew over the head.
Did not prepare for this episode.
Not one note.
And because I was under the impression he, was a normal person and would read text messages and get that, I did not prepare my normal notes for this episode. So what we're going to do is do our best to freeball this one.
Yeah, sure.
And we're going to talk about, it's not going to be a normal episode in as detailed and in depth or as long as normal, because there's no way we're going to be able to stretch it out that long and remember everything about this movie. So with that said, we'll see how this goes. I do have our normal, my normal opening and closing notes, like I always do, but the stuff in between, the meat and the potatoes, is going to be real thin this week. So we'll see how this goes. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 was released straight to video on November 9th of 1989, which is crazy because that's the same year that Elves came out.
Really?
Yeah, Elves was 1980. Cause I remember we talked about it. It looked more like 82 than 89.
Yeah.
So both came out the same year. This one definitely looks more 89 and it's more in feel as of fashion.
You're just about to get to the 90s.
Yeah. But this was like right there in that current, I guess, whereas Elves looked like it was like a decade behind
Right.
when it came to the clothing and the fashion. For something that's released in the same year, that's really funny and odd, I think. This movie is written by Rex Weiner, Monte Hellman, and Arthur Gorson, directed by Monte Hellman as well. Finding this is a challenge. It is not streaming really anywhere. You can find it on Vudu. If you have a Vudu account, I think all of them there, like 3, 4, and 5 are all there streaming. That's the only place you can do it. Otherwise, you have to buy it on disc.
So I hooked up my Vudu account because I have the Vudu channel on my Roku, but I was like, okay, let me activate my account. You don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
So what you do is you rent movies from there for a cheaper price or watch things for free with commercials, kind of like Tubi.
Okay. So I've never used it. Other than like when you get like the digital copies of stuff and like I put in the code and like for some reason like my seasons of Big Bang Theory like don't show up on like my Amazon account like everything else, my movies anywhere, they only show up on like Vudu.
You watch the Big Bang Theory?
Love Big Bang Theory.
Ugh.
Oh, shove it. But anyway, I actually bought this on disc like last year so we could do it. I didn't realize it was now streaming on Vudu, but who knows? So yeah, it's not the easiest one to find. The cast, we're going to talk about a few people in the cast. Our lead girl, Laura, is played by Samantha Scully. She's only got 4 credits to her name because, well, after this movie, you kind of understand why.
Wasn't one of them Mulholland Drive, though?
No. You're wrong person.
Gotcha.
Samantha Scully was in Best of the Best, though, in 1989.
Sweet.
She was also in Saturday Night Deadly Night 4 Initiation in 1990, but was uncredited. So I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm guessing it's probably like archive footage or something.
Probably.
And then a movie called Bloodsuckers in 97, and that was it. Then we have Jerry, who that's played by celebrated and accomplished actress Laura Haring. 64 credits, including Love in the Age of Cholera, Gossip Girl, NCIS Los Angeles, The Shield, General Hospital. She was in the 2004 Thomas Jane Punisher movie.
Oh, yeah.
But she's most famous and awarded and critically acclaimed for her role as Rita in David Lynch's film Mulholland Drive, where she was also recently voted, which the movie was recently voted as the best film of the 21st century in multiple polls.
Jesus.
And Roger Ebert compared Laura Haring, to screen legend Rita Hayworth at that point. So, interesting. Dr. Newberry, the psychologist, or psychiatrist, whichever one, is played by Richard Beamer. 63 credits to his name, including West Side Story, the original and 2017 remake/revisit of Twin Peaks. He's also in Star Trek Deep Space Nine and The Diary of Anne Frank.
Ben Horn from Twin Peaks. Right when I saw him, like, oh, Ben Horn, all right.
See, I'm glad you know, because I never watched the show originally. I know now that like streaming and stuff, I keep meaning to go back and watch it, but I keep finding other stuff. I keep getting distracted and never actually get to Twin Peaks.
If you come and watch it now, like the first 2 seasons are from 93.
Yeah.
So, you're taking a big step back in technology and film quality. And,
oh, yeah.
Just what's going on.
Yeah, but still, story is story. And if it's a good story,
it's good.
And people
it's
still
weird.
talk about it. So,
it's
yeah.
weird. Definitely weird.
And then speaking of Twin Peaks, we have Chris, played by Alec DeRee.
Leo.
Yes, Leo Johnson on Twin Peaks and all of its spinoffs as well. He's also in Starship Troopers. Lieutenant Conley is played by the one Mr. Robert Culp. This fucker's got 171 credits. Some interesting stuff, though. He was in Greatest American Hero, the original I Spy TV show, Outer Limits. But he plays a lot of cops and detectives. But 2 fun credits we're going to mention is one, he was the voice of the narrator in Eminem's hit song Guilty Conscience. So that was him. Yeah.
Okay, like Grady just finished his job at the graveyard shift, and he comes home to find someone fucking his wife.
Yeah, what does he do? Yeah, that's
okay.
him. And he was the grandfather in what has become basically one of Aaron's all-time favorite Christmas horror movies, Santa's Sleigh, with Bill Goldberg.
Boom! That's Grandpa.
Yep, he's
Sweet.
Grandpa. And then lastly, Ricky, who is the guy from Saturday Night Deadly Night 2, and is played by Bill Moseley, who...
We all know Bill Moseley.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about when we get to the... That's all I'm going to mention about the cast. The rest of the stuff will come later when we try to bumfuck our way through this review without our notes. So... I do remember the movie opening on like a serene like close up of our main girl Laura sleeping in like a all white, like it's like a completely white room. It's almost looking like it's something like out of like a what's the time chamber in Dragon Ball Z or something like that?
Hyperbaric chamber, something like
Something
that.
like that, but like they know in Dragon Ball Z they go into that weird training thing, and it's like just an all white void. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just a big white void. You see it a lot in like the Matrix, right? Before they launched all the programs, they were in this white void.
Oh yeah. Something like and she's laying down, hooked up to like all these electrodes, and basically we find out that her brain is being linked to the comatose brain of our killer Ricky, the Bill Moseley.
So this is supposed to be Ricky from number 2.
Yes,
this
Ricky
is supposed
from
to be Ricky from number 2.
Yes,
well known, well documented, garbage day.
Yes,
muscular, weird Ricky.
Yeah, and now it's a skinny Bill Moseley who looks like he's 10 years older than Ricky was in the last movie. And let's just talk about this right now because it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in a horror movie. And it's never really explained that I can remember, at least about my notes, but Bill Moseley wears a fucking sci-fi fishbowl on his head to cover his exposed brain, and it has like water sloshing around it, I guess, to keep his brain wet.
They did a complete craniotomy, took off the entire top of the skull, and screwed in like bolts of this bowl, like you said, like half bowl, covering his brain, and it's exposed, and there's blinking lights on it.
That's the even weird thing. Like, okay. All right, so he's got this glass bowl or plastic, wherever the fuck it's supposed to be, on his head to protect his brain. All right, but why the fuck does he have like an antenna and like flashing lights and a battery pack on it? Like, what is this thing powering?
Maybe you can
what
drive
is
him.
It doing?
Maybe you can drive him.
I would love if there's something like some back room somewhere, just like a little remote, like
get a video game remote
like he's
control.
A drone, like a drone Moseley going around killing people with Ricky as a drone. That would make it so much more of an interesting movie.
Yes, it would.
That would be awesome. Like, I could get behind that in a weird. If they halfway explained it somewhere, I'm like, okay, I'm on board, because that would be so much better than this shit.
I like that idea way better. That's it. Podcast over. We're writing this down.
We're redoing it. Yeah. That's it. We're not even going to talk about the rest of the movie because that's how we're going to choose to think this goes. So it's the most ridiculous looking thing. I can't overstate how ridiculous this thing looks. It's got a flashing like light on the back of this battery pack that has antenna on it, and I just don't. It's like he never loses power. This thing never powers. Like, and but seriously, what is it powering? It's not like there's gears turning or something like tanks on, like, something where he needs. It's just there's no reason for this thing whatsoever. And what makes it even more confusing, if you really want to go for continuity, the fact that they changed actors between 2 and now it's Bill Moseley, but the end of number 2, Billy dies, quote unquote, by getting shot to death
in the chest.
Yeah,
he gets shot a bunch with like handguns, and then someone shoots him with like a shotgun, knocks him through the window.
Yeah. And
he even turns to the screen and smiles at the end when you hear Sister Mary screaming.
Yeah. I think he gets shot out of like her dining room window or something like that. And so basically he's like, he's in a coma with all this brain damage and like brain trauma. But like he never had any brain trauma. He wasn't shot in the head. He wasn't bludgeoned over the head. There's no reason. There's nothing at all that why he would be in a coma with brain damage and have to have his head cut open and like this dome put on. It's fucking bullshit. It's the stupidest fucking thing.
It's pretty bananas.
Yeah,
it's pretty bananas.
Whoever thought this up was smoking something. Holy shit.
Well, they weren't smoking anything good.
No, not good. God damn.
Yeah. So he's there in the lab also. He's like on a different side.
He's like in another room. Yeah. Like, she's in one room, and then like there's like a window.
Mirrored glass.
And he's on the other side. He's also hooked up to a machine that...
He's been comatose for 10 years. Or
I don't even know if it's been 10 years.
Whatever it was.
But whatever. Yeah. And so...
And in comes Ben Horn from Twin Peaks. The doctor comes in, and he's, he wakes up. The girl wakes up screaming. She has like...
Wait, is that Ben Horn?
Yeah.
That doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the psychiatrist we see later then, because that's another doctor in the movie. Okay.
He's got the glasses. He's the main character.
The main doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
now, I forget what I said when I was going through the cast, because I said something about it was a psychiatrist or something.
Well, whatever. But anyway, he comes in and he's asking her, "What did you see? What did you see?" And she's talking about, I saw Santa, but she doesn't really go into it. But what they did before this scene is they showed her looking at Ricky's dreams, and they're replaying stock footage from Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 from
movie.
the first.
I'm like, oh god damn it! Again, again, with the same footage from number 1. Like, Jesus.
They're showing the Santa Claus kill Billy
family.
and Ricky's family.
Yeah,
and they keep showing Billy, who was the killer in the first Silent Night, Deadly Night, and they keep showing him like, looking
Billy.
traumatized.
In the first one, Ricky is like an infant. He's
yeah.
like 3 months old,
right?
Which was one of my biggest gripes in the second when we did the second, because like, he would have no memories of this whatsoever.
Even the doctor at number 2 said that. He's like, but I was there.
Yeah, like, no, you weren't. Oh yeah, like, would you kill me, Doc? Are you calling me crazy? Like, oh my god, the Ricky impression. Oh,
it's beautiful.
I thought that movie was bad, and it is bad. But compared to this one, I would go back and watch number 2
a million
times before watching this thing again. So yeah, she's having dreams and visions of Billy,
watching
Ricky's
dreams,
which is really of Billy's memories. So that's
right.
really fucking confusing. It makes no sense.
So, but she just says Santa, and then the guy starts like going, "What else? What else?" He goes, "Nothing else." And like, are you fucking kidding me? You just saw him like Santa rip open some girl's like shirt, titties out, slitting throats, shooting down dads, chasing kids into the wilderness. Just saw Santa.
Yeah.
No bigs.
Yeah. So, this, we'll call it session of the experiment comes to an end. They get her up, and basically one of the big reveals is that we find out that Laura, played by Samantha, is blind. She's a blind girl.
Bum, bum.
So now we have a blind girl who's telepathically linked to a comatose serial killer.
You nailed it.
That's the premise. So basically the session ends, and she ends up going out to like the lobby of the hospital to wait for her brother to pick her up. And she has a conversation with the nurse at the front desk, who is a bitch for no reason.
None.
Like, no reason whatsoever.
I mean, she's a blind lady. She's got her cane out, and she says, can you let me know when a red Jeep pulls up? Like, that's my brother.
Yeah. And she's like, bitch, I'm busy.
Like,
do it yourself. It's she's like, I'm blind. I can't see the Jeep. But this lady is just a bitch for no reason whatsoever. Horrible person.
Yeah.
So Laura ends up like taking a seat on the bench, but as she walks away, she's like, bitch. She actually calls her a bitch. But speaking of bitch though, Laura
is kind of a bitch.
It's also
too.
a bitch too.
In the movie.
Like for somebody who's supposed to be our main girl that we're supposed to care about, and like
supposed to like,
and like being blind. Oh, she's handicapped, and or we're supposed to be sympathetic.
Nah.
And she's a fucking surly bitch. But like, why would anybody like want to be around her? Like, why do we want to like this character? Like, yeah, okay, you're blind. Maybe you're bitter over being blind, or you're like, maybe they took it to something. Like, we don't want people to feel sorry for her because she's not a helpless blind person. So let's give her some attitude. But if that's the case, they went too far because she just comes off as very unlikable, and you don't care about her.
Yeah, she isn't very likable at all. Actually, I don't think anybody in this whole movie is.
Probably
maybe
Laura.
Grandma. That's maybe, about it.
The girlfriend isn't bad. I don't see anything wrong. I don't remember
That's
anything
true
wrong
too.
with her.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her.
The boyfriend's girlfriend is probably. So anyway, Laura goes and sits down on this bench to wait, and
she falls asleep.
And now it turns out to be what was going to happen is a dream. She has a dream, waking up, going over to the counter, and finding the nurse dead.
Right, throat slit,
covered in blood. She screams, and she wakes up back in the.
Now, is this when they cut over to Ricky, who's still comatose, and his hands start fluttering?
I think so.
Yeah, and so when she has this dream, he starts to kind of flutter out of his comatose state.
Yes.
We got to have him get up sometime.
So then the brother shows up, and this guy is awesome looking.
That hair is
crazy.
crazy.
He is a golden lion of a hunk.
He looks like
a
he should
denim-clad lion of a man.
be playing bass in Jesus Jones.
Yes.
You know?
He's
little
got the
90s nugget there for you.
Man perm, wavy, curly hair, permed up in his denim-clad head to toe. Like, he is a sight to behold. So he pulls up, picks up the girlfriend, picks up Laura and introduces him, I believe, to his new girlfriend, Jerry. I think she's there when they pick her up from the hospital. And of course, Laura is kind of a bitch right off the bat to Jerry for no reason.
I remember this line because she comes to the blind girl and says, "Oh, hi. Chris has told me so much about you. I hear you're psychic." And she goes, "Yeah, I heard he said you give good blowjobs." It's like, ugh.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? This is there's no reason. Like, why would you hate this girl? You just met her. Like, is she secretly in love with her brother? Jealous of her brother for having a boyfriend? Like,
for getting better blowjobs? Who knows?
Like, her attitude and bitchiness is so unwarranted. It comes out of nowhere. It's like I said, it's off-putting and makes you really not like our main character.
Laura coming in hot.
Comes in super hot. So they get off and they drive away, and as the bitchy nurse is like, have a Merry Christmas or Happy Holiday or something like that, and she's like, and Laura says something like not for you, it's not gonna be yours, something like that. Yeah. Like, I know you're gonna get killed, bitch. Or like, I don't know. She makes some ass remark, and they drive away. I'm sorry, guys. I know we're going to end up skipping so much of this movie.
Yeah, I think at this point, that's when Bill Moseley comes alive.
I can't remember when 100% he comes alive.
There's a drunk Santa who's walking through the hospital.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, ho, ho, hey, what's up, doctor? All right."
Yeah, he's like the nice who visits the kids or something like that.
Yeah, he's visiting kids, visiting people.
But he's drunk.
and he sneaks off into a room, which, of course, Ricky happens to be in. He's like, and he's looking at his chart. He's like, "Comatose, huh? Then I guess you don't mind me having a drink." And he's drinking booze. And
he says some smart ass things to Ricky about, like, some.
You want a drink, buddy? You can't. Haha, look at you. You're in a coma.
Yeah,
zing, zing.
It's not really. He teases him a little bit, like lightheartedness, but it's not that bad.
But when Ricky stirs and opens his eyes, he sees Santa.
And that triggers his rage and all this shit.
He doesn't say punish, doesn't say naughty.
He says nothing.
He just kind of gurgles.
Yeah. Gets up, kills the Santa.
Again, we don't see how.
No, you don't see how.
You just hear, "Oh no, you're a big fella. Oh jeez."
Side note, that Santa was played by director Monty Hellman.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So he kills Santa, takes the Santa suit, I think, and I don't even remember if he takes the Santa suit.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. He doesn't. He just kills him. Kills him and leaves.
He's walking around in his fucking butt flaps hanging out.
Yes, he is. That's right.
In the hospital gown.
Scrub pants and a gown.
No, not even pants.
He's not pants?
It's just a fucking gown.
I thought he
had shitty slippers.
He had the slippers.
Yeah.
And then he kills the nurse at the front desk. He slits her throat or stabs her with scissors or something.
Again, off-screen kill. He just comes over to her. She's like, "Can I help you?" And then she screams. Yeah. And they cut back to her, and she's got the
blood already.
The bloody throat.
And he just leaves the hospital. To which case, he later gets picked up by a hitchhiker. He hitchhikes, and some asshole picks this fucker up. I'm sorry. If you're driving down the highway and you see a guy in a hospital gown with his ass hanging out, slivers, his brain exposed, wearing a fishbowl over his head with lights battery on top of it, walking like a zombie.
Yeah,
that's how Bill Moseley walks the entire movie.
Shuffling like he's...
Like original George Romero, black and white, Night of the Living Dead zombie.
Yes.
That's his movement. You don't pick that fucker up on the side of the road. And the fact he's got blood on his hands from murdering 2 people.
That looks like a guy I want to pick up.
Yeah, but nope, this guy's like, "Hey, come on, man, it's the holidays.
How's it going?
Hop on up here.
My wife's been on my back, oh boy."
"Oh, howdy do, shuck you darn." Yeah, he's dead now. Okay, yeah. No,
he's dead next.
He's dead.
And again, off-screen kill.
Off-screen. So, from here on out, the movie gets real slow. I do remember, it's a slow movie from basically the main 45 minutes of that middle part of it is slow. There's some parts where we see Laura at her shrink counselor's office talking about all this shit and
being psychic and blind.
Yeah, it drags on. And at one point, I guess she falls asleep in the middle of her counseling session because the shrink then turns into Bill Moseley in the chair. He spins around in the chair and face she's like, "Ah!"
And he doesn't say anything.
Yeah. He's like, ugh.
And speaking of the screams, there's a lot of screaming in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's always like they just get a tight shot of the actress's face and she just takes a deep breath and screams. Yeah. Like every time there's a scream, it's not like organic. It's always, okay, tight cut shot and go. Ah! And it happens a lot.
Yeah. At some point, we meet Robert Culp, the detective, who's I guess been called in the case of the murders at the hospital.
He's talking with Ben Horn, the doctor.
Yeah, he becomes I guess the George or the Sam Loomis, of this movie, Hunt Down Billy. Let's see,
Ricky, not Billy.
I keep saying Ricky. Yeah, Ricky. Well, I think it's Billy. I got Black Christmas on mine too, and that it's Billy in that one too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. At least in the first two. I haven't seen the newest one. So now we're introduced. So Robert Culp's on the case. He's trying to track down Ricky, and so the whole time, Laura, Jerry, the girlfriend, and the brother are driving. They're supposed to go out to their granny's house for Christmas for the holidays, but somehow Ricky somehow beats them there.
Gets there first.
So I don't know how that's even possible. In fact, they left the hospital way before they did. And as far as this, well, I guess they didn't go straight from the hospital because there's all that shit in between.
They stop at a gas station, but they just call.
But then where's that shit with the psychiatrist? Was that is that supposed to be before the experiments in the opening? Because when would that happen?
I don't know.
Because if they went from the hospital straight to grandma's and all that shit that we see in the middle with the shrink.
Maybe she was remembering it. Who knows?
Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, Billy beats him there. Grandma, again, okay, Billy, comatose brain tard here, tries to cover. He's wearing like the guy, the guy who picked him up, like his clothes now. More like denim, Dickies stuff.
He looks like a bum.
He looks like a bum. But he does try to cover up his fish dome enough with a stocking skull cap,
and it's like sticking out on the sides
with like one of those knit hats, and it's barely even on. Like it's just tilted on. It might as well be like the hat Adebisi wears in Oz, if anybody knows that reference, because it's barely on this thing, and you see this giant plastic dome sticking out with metal rims, and his brain sticking out from underneath his hat, and Grandma almost like, hey,
Merry Christmas!
Doesn't just acts like this is normal. Like this guy with a brain sticking out is completely normal.
Are you cold? Come on in.
It's basically drooling out the side of his mouth.
Yeah,
his face is all. Why is his face all deformed too on the one side? Again, no explanation. Never gets no facial damage in the previous movie either for him to be all scarred up. But he is. Billy doesn't even say anything. He just Ricky, god damn it. Ricky's just like, ugh.
Yeah,
he's like, come on in out of the cold. Let me feed you a feast.
Come on to the warm side of the door.
And let me feed you. So she feeds him like a 3-course meal. He just sits there the whole time. Then she gets up, goes over to him and starts talking to him, like staying like right next to him. And he just kind of looks up at her, goes, duh, and then gives a little bit of a smile, kills her. She's dead.
They have the scene where he goes over to the China hutch and there's pictures there, and he finds a picture of Laura and he starts petting at it.
Oh yeah.
And then she goes, "Oh, that's my granddaughter Laura. She's on her way here. Let me go see if there's a present for you." And she goes over to the tree, which is loaded with presents, and pulls out a red wrapped present.
Yes.
It's wrapped in red, and he sees the red and he's like,
"Oh, red bad, fire bad. Must kill." I forgot about that.
Now, it's funny you said fire bad.
Yeah.
Because there are elements of, it definitely borrows from Frankenstein. Totally borrows from Frankenstein. And this going to grandmother's house, it's borrowing from, Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Over
to grandma's house we go. He's the wolf.
I'm getting Frankenstein up the ass.
The most unimaginative writing inspiration.
Yeah.
Let's combine Red Riding Hood, Frankenstein, and fucking
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, and that's throwing some telepathy as well, which other than the psychic link, it doesn't really come into play. So I guess that's how you make the argument, how he would know where Grandma's house is, but really they don't even explain that, the in depth, how would he know where Grandma's is? How does he get there?
Psychic link, baby, psychic link.
But she's not there. Like if she was there and he was found her like she was like a homing beacon, like a GPS ping, and she was already there, and that's what that one maybe I kind of buy that, but she's not even there at this point. But he beats them there, and it's like, well, I don't know, it's fucking
frustrating.
I had to stop myself from saying a word.
Which Janoris Jenkins got fired for.
So Grandma's dead. The manhunt continues. More boring shit goes on. It's dragging on, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and that's when Chris and the group arrives to Granny's house.
Yes, our main three characters finally show up to Grandma's house.
So we have Laura, girlfriend and boyfriend.
Jerry and Chris. Jerry is the girlfriend. Chris, the brother, and Laura. Yeah, they all arrive. And Laura's still being kind of bitchy.
Still kind of being a bitch.
Doesn't want to do anything with Jerry's like very standoffish. She's like, what? And Jerry's being nothing but pleasant and sweet and like so like, hey, it's so
nice to
trying
meet
to be
you.
so friendly and like
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and she's like, bitch.
So they go into Granny's house and Granny's not there.
Yes.
They can't find Granny, but the place looks good. It doesn't look like
Yeah.
anything's turned over. It doesn't look like there's anything untoward.
Exactly.
So they're walking through. They're turning off the burners on the stove because they were still cooking, and they don't seem too concerned.
No.
They're just kind of like, where's Granny?
Yeah.
Well, she'll probably turn up. They're so not worried about this. The girlfriend just pops up into the bathroom and decides to take a tub,
exactly.
take a bath.
I'm gonna take a bath.
She makes herself
chill.
really comfortable
The
brother, fast.
Yeah, the brother remembers. Oh shit, I was supposed to pick up eggs or milk or something.
Yeah.
Like because there was a phone conversation briefly about that. But yeah, Jerry just goes upstairs like it's her own house and just takes a bath. Laura broods and bees Laura.
Yeah, she sits down and huffs and puffs.
Yeah, who cares? Chris is just being Chris, dipping around. You do see Laura or Jerry. You get some phone nudity there. You get some nice ass and see her naked in the tub.
She gets naked in the tub. Chris joins her.
Joins her in the tub.
There's a very endearing, cute little scene between Chris and Jerry scrubbing each other's backs.
Which just looks. I noticed, but man, to me, I was like, that looks so uncomfortable. These. It's a small tub, and Chris isn't the smallest.
He's
guy.
a big dude.
He's solidly built, but like. And he's just crammed in there, and of course it's an old tub, so like all the faucets, like you can see there's like jamming him in the back. Like, that can't be comfortable. But anyway, so that
good
happens.
on him, man.
Yeah,
good on
him. So god damn, what else is going on?
The cop and psychiatrist are driving there. They're bitching back and forth some more.
Well, not the psychiatrist. Is he the same? Is it the same doctor?
It's the doctor, Ben Horn, Twin Peaks.
I wonder if he's a psychiatrist too, or in that she talks to in the memory, or if it's two different doctors.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah,
but maybe it could be like that's just like his office, and then he goes. I don't know. Fuck it.
It's Ben Horn. He's driving with
Richard Beamer. Yeah.
He's driving with the cop, and he's like, I'm a man of science. Please don't kill him. I need to study him. And the other guy's like, no, I'm going to kill him as soon as I see him.
Yeah,
they kind of go back and forth on that.
And they're in the car for a while. There's a couple different
scenes.
It's
a longer scene.
But one of the time, the best scene, the best Richard Culp dialogue in this movie, I found it's so stupid, but it's really the best. Is when they start talking about a car phone. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta get one of these. It's the greatest thing, and blah blah blah. But there's this problem." And the doctor's like, "Shut the fuck up, man. I don't care about your car phone." And Cope's like, "No, man, a car phone's a great." It's actually the only good kind of entertaining scene in the whole movie.
That's harsh to say.
Yeah, it really is. So
there's that.
I should say that. I also should have said it earlier, but. Laura, even though she's a pretty girl, she's a good-looking girl, but it's weird because her and Jerry, Laura and Jerry looks very similar.
They do.
Like there's times when you almost you forget which one's which because they're so similar. They look like they could be real life sisters.
Yeah, and they're both wearing mom jeans.
Yeah,
one's wearing like a black blazer, the other one's wearing like a dark brown blazer.
Yeah,
so it's hard to tell them apart.
Shorter length or slightly
dark
hair. Facial features are very similar. It's like
if Laura's not holding her fucking cane,
yeah,
her blind cane,
yeah,
like it's same thing.
Very similar.
Who's that?
Maybe they do a little bit better job of maybe distinguishing them physically from each other. Like maybe one's blonde or give one
just
glasses,
a better outfits,
just different outfits. Something to distinguish them a little bit more from each other. So At one point, God, this is where it gets confusing because we're basically skip to the end of this shit.
So Ben Horn, when he's talking when the psychiatrist is talking with the cop's like, I gotta piss, and he goes out to go take a piss, and the psychiatrist steals the car because he doesn't want him to kill Ricky. He wants to try and catch Ricky.
That's right.
So he leaves the cop behind stranded. He steals the car. And
Lieutenant
goes off to find.
I'm trying to remember though what happens to Chris. Like the order things happen.
So
we're gonna get this out of order, and we're just gonna talk about this. So the psychiatrist will cover him first. He gets to the farm ranch house. I think it's like a ranch. I think they actually grow like oranges or something in California, like an orange ranch. It's like, and if you're local here in St. Louis, it's like an Eckert's farm, maybe only for oranges.
Orange Grove or
some ranch or something like that. And he gets there, finds Ricky. I almost said Billy again. Ricky, like just wandering around out by a barn or something like that.
No, that's not right.
He's outside though.
He is outside. That scene you're kind of skipping ahead to that.
Yeah, because I can't.
So
I don't know what happens.
What happens is they're finally starting to get worried about Granny. You know, they get done with their bath, the girlfriend and Chris. They get done with their bath. They're starting to worry about Granny. They're like, okay, well, let's call the cops. They go to call the cops. Phone's cut. Phone's dead.
All right.
And they're like, oh shit, phone's dead. So Chris and his girlfriend go back outside, and their car is gone. And they're like, it's smashed in a ravine like 20 feet from here. What the hell's going on? And they're like, okay, that's it. We're walking.
That means comatose zombie, brain dead Ricky can now apparently drive a car.
Hot wire car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and smash it, drive it off a cliff. So they say, okay, we're just going to hoof it. We're just going to walk to the highway and try and get help. Chris gets an old gun, and they're like, okay, here we go. We're going to go.
Yeah.
They start walking, and that's when...
No, don't they? No, is it? Do they start walking? Or because I thought one of them said, "No, I'm staying here. I'm not." Didn't she like?
No, they all went together. Because it's Laura's being a bitch again. She's like, "I'm staying here."
Yeah, that's what I'm
they're
saying.
Like, no, we're all leaving together.
Like, I'm not leaving here. And yeah, that's. I remember her.
They finally all leave together, and they're walking down the street, and that's when Bill Moseley pops out and surprises Chris, and they have a tussle. He drops his gun, and they fight, and it's such a shitty, stupid fight because Chris is a big dude and Bill Moseley is skinny, and
again, like I said, been brain dead, comatose, and can barely move.
He crashes into him for he goes in for like a tackle, and he just basically puts his hand on his Bill Moseley puts his hand on Chris's face and just slowly pushes him to the ground. It's so lame.
Yeah.
It's so lame. It's like what you do to like your nephew or something when they get on. You're like, hey, I want to play. Like, get off me. Just shove your face down on the ground. Just slowly shoves his face to the ground. Gets on top of him and has a steak knife.
Yeah, I don't know where he got the knife from, but yeah,
it's
he has
like
a knife now.
Knife from a diner, a small steak knife.
It's not a big knife.
He does the lamest, slowest little stab into the left upper part of his chest.
Yeah.
One, I mean, and it's a,
Yeah.
It's the lamest looking stab. Chris goes, ah! Starts spitting up blood, seemingly dead.
Yes.
That's when the girls run away.
Yes.
And the psychiatrist pulls up.
Yeah, doctor pulls up, gets out of the car, and he's like, Ricky, hey, easy there, buddy. It's like he's trying to talk to like a dog you don't want to run. He's like, hey there, boy, easy,
buddy,
come here, buddy, easy. Come here.
You want some snacks?
You want a snack? Give me a snack. Yeah. And Ricky's like, and so Ricky starts walking up to the doctor. Doctor's walk up to Ricky, and the doctor's got his hand. I think he might have a gun or something.
No, he's playing like the
oh, that's right. He's got a tape. He's got one with like little tiny
tape cassettes.
Recorders. And he's playing back like a
session between Laura and him.
Yeah, and
so he can hear Laura's voice.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing Bill Moseley does say is he does go, Laura.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Yeah, he does. He does go, yes.
So he walks over to the dock and
no surprise,
kills him.
Stabs him in the stomach a few times. Again, super easy. And like,
it's so
I shouldn't
lame.
say super easy. It's like it should be the super easiest thing to avoid getting killed by this guy. He's so slow and so stiff. It's like he can be so easily avoided.
He's got no qualms about what he's going to do. You know he's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And he's moving very slowly.
That's one reason why this is one of the most probably the least intimidating killer in any slasher I've ever seen, because he's so slow, so stiff, so it's like
basically brain dead.
There's nothing scary about this guy.
Right.
Like you look at him like oh, if I can walk more than 2 miles an hour, I can avoid this guy. Because that's all you gotta do. And so, yeah, Doctor's dead. And
the
Ricky,
girls get back to the house.
Yeah.
The girls barricade the door. And they're in the middle of saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to call it, and smash! Bill Moseley comes smashing through the back window.
Yeah, now all of a sudden he's got like energy and he
crashes through.
And move.
Yeah, just explodes to the door, and then
the girls kind of they go together.
There's a little cat and mouse. They're hiding, and Laura's trying to help, or Jerry's trying to help Laura around because she's blind. So they go in this room. There's a great shot of like blue light, which is pretty good.
Blue light.
I'm blue. I would need. I would die. 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 I would need. I would die.
And Jerry goes creeping trying to find him, but of course Bill Moseley's there, kills her, stabs her a few times in the stomach. She's dead. Along comes fucking Laura.
Well, hold on a second. Bill Moseley, she doesn't get... Wait, no. They split up for some reason.
Yeah, Laura goes upstairs with Jerry, and Jerry's like, let me, I thought I heard something. Let me go look. And, she tells Laura to stay. She goes into, I guess, what's the bedroom.
She goes into a bedroom, looks underneath the bed.
Yeah, and she gets grabbed. That's right. That's right.
Underneath the bed.
That actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that actually looked pretty good. And she just gets dragged underneath the bed.
Don't see her.
You don't see what happens. She's gone. And then it comes more cat and mouse with Ricky and Laura. Again, she, I think, tries to hide in a bathroom or something. But I know he breaks through a door at some point.
Yeah, she walks into the room where Jerry was killed or drug under the bed, and she goes, I can feel you in here. And you can see him in the corner, so he's right there. But of course, she's blind. She discovers the dead body, and that's when the chase begins.
Yeah. And at some point, Ricky does break through a door, which is like, again, I don't care. Like, he hasn't done anything all movie.
And
now
you've
he's
seen
breaking
him
through doors.
like slapping on doors before, like limp wristed.
Again, like the limp, like the original old zombies, like you barely.
Exactly.
And like now he's like breaking down doors like Jason or something like that, or more important, like a Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Bam, going through doors.
Yeah. She goes. So Laura goes on a chase. She runs downstairs to the basement.
She ends up down to the basement where this gets so dumb, so fucking dumb. At one point, you think maybe they do something more with this telepathic link or like these powers she's supposed to have.
They keep hinting at it.
She gets in the basement.
Nothing ever happens with it.
She tries to hide, and then she has like a spiritual, like Jedi Obi-Wan Force ghost conversation with her dead grandma.
Yes.
Grandma, she hears her grandma voice, and we see grandma like sitting in like a library and sitting down like knitting something.
I thought she was like taking care of okra. Like
she's
she had like a bowl of
yeah.
like green.
Something, and she's just sitting there and the camera's up on her face.
Like de-stemming spinach or something.
And she's like, Laura, use your power. You're so powerful. No one can touch you. No one can hurt you. Use your power.
Yes.
You're so special. And she's like, Grandma, thank you. I love you, Grandma. I'm like, what? What? Okay, so now she's starting to become like Professor X, Jean Grey. Are we going to see like a Friday 13th Part 7 type showdown here? I'm like, okay.
Which also came out in the late 80s.
Yes. Maybe this will have some redeeming ending. Maybe, okay. No!
Nope.
And nothing fucking happens!
All she does is stumble through the dark and discovers Grandma's dead body.
Yeah, she bumps into Grandma's dead body, which is hanging from a noose, like from a rafter. Then she like tries to... She stands there in the dark. She does take her cane or something and smash out the light so it's dark. So
she falls into this giant pile of empty cardboard boxes just that happen to be there so conveniently. And like a broom handle falls down.
There's a broom handle.
Yeah, she takes the broom handle. Down comes Bill Moseley. And she knocks I guess she bumps into the light with the stick and then knocks the light bulb, making it dark. But boy, is it well lit
It's still very well lit.
And she's like, now it's even.
But the thing is, like, she stands there in the dark. And she stands there, and Ricky's coming, and she stands there. And then I guess she thinks it's a smart idea. She's going to try to make a break for it. A blind woman's going to try to make a break through this cluttered basement.
So much shit on the floor.
First of all, she doesn't like really wait for Ricky to move or get away because she basically just runs right into him. Like it's the worst concept. Like it's. But
I kind of went. She is blind.
She is. I get it, but it's like, man, her ears, just did not wait.
Her ears were just a little off. She misjudged.
She is no Daredevil.
Yeah, no.
Daredevil. She is not. So Ricky just grabs her, like throws her to the floor. Takes the broomstick, smashes it like, a baseball player who's over his knee.
Yeah,
like snaps.
Like when Bo Jackson would strike out.
Yeah.
Smash.
Yeah, thank you. And then like
he throws him on the floor.
Yeah. And then she says, now all of a sudden she has balls. Like she's been scared. She like gets like one of the broken pieces of the broomstick. Says like, all right, come and get me, Ricky. She's suddenly a badass. She's like all of a sudden out of nowhere.
This is her grandma power.
Yeah. So Ricky basically takes a step forward and then just basically kills himself. Well, he just falls on top of the pointy splintered broomstick like a knight falling on a sword, or like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Days, where he throws himself onto the sword to kill himself. That's what happens. She doesn't stab him. There's no struggle. He just like. I don't. It's unfathomable. Like you watch it, it literally looks like he just like
fell on it.
Like he just like, oh, let me just kill myself.
Let me fall on my sword. Yeah.
He doesn't even. I lost my mind that this is how this ends. Like what? There's no struggle. He doesn't grab her. There's no accident. He just kills himself. Is what this is.
So before that happened, though. That's when Chris comes back.
Oh fuck yeah! Chris comes back
and he's like, "Hey, Chrome Dome," and shoots him pretty fucking close in the chest.
Point blank range with a shotgun.
Which knocks him way back.
I forgot about. God damn it!
And then he just gets up.
Yeah,
just gets up and starts walking ever so slowly.
He gets shot point blank range with a double barrel shotgun to the chest. Gets up. There's not even like blood on him or anything that I can remember. Goes over to Chris, grabs a gun, and basically
chokes him
out with the barrel of the gun up against a beam.
And it looks so bad. It's
another one of those.
So bad.
It's another one of those die too soon strangulations we've seen a lot lately.
Yes.
We saw it in Silent Night 2 with the car incident. He just like touched the girl's neck and she was dead. And it's not as bad as that one, but he dies way too quickly for being like.
I think he was just choked out. I'm just going to stick with that. Yeah. He just lost consciousness.
And then he goes and kills himself.
Yeah, basically. Then he goes and throws himself on
I wish I didn't get that out of order. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Yeah, no worries. We got it.
So he's dead. He kills himself. It's basically dead. There might be some epilogue here with the cop showing. The cop does it. Lieutenant Connolly, Robert Pope, he does show up, finds the doctor's body with he's not just been stabbed, but like his intestines are hanging out of him.
Right.
So he's been like eviscerated too, but we didn't see that happen.
And the doctor's still alive. And he like comes up and gives him he's like smart. He's like, "Hey, Doc, doesn't look like you're getting Christmas dinner tonight." And he's just like, "Don't be such a jerk." Yeah. And he dies.
Yeah, he does. He does. This part of life is some weird like that. It's like, don't do that. Don't be a
mean
dick or something. Yeah. Or don't do it. Or
it was so strange. And then it takes him like a good 30 seconds to finally die. He's like, okay, more screen time. Okay. Then he dies. Like his death scene's longer than Ricky's.
Yeah. So I guess
then they show the detective. They show people carrying out a body. They don't show if it's Chris or Ricky.
Yes.
And they go, "Hey, if we get him to the ICU, we can save him.
Save this guy." Yeah.
So we don't know if it's Chris or Ricky.
I assumed it was Ricky.
I did too.
I assumed it was Ricky.
The detective came right over to Laura then and said, "You gonna be okay?" And she's like, "I don't know. We'll see."
Well, it also makes more sense for him to say because that's what the doctor's saying. Don't kill him. We can save this guy. And now he's gonna be back in his coma or something like that.
Back for number 4.
Yeah. So I assumed it was Ricky too. Laura's sitting on the ambulance and she
looks at the screen, says "Merry Christmas."
Yeah, and then she says it to she looks at the screen, says, but she's talking to the detective, to the Robert Culp. Says "Merry Christmas," and the ambulance. You see the ambulance drive away as it crossfades into a close up of Ricky's face with that stupid fishbowl and brain water sloshing around.
Wearing a tux.
Wearing a tuxedo with a bow tie now. Thank you for that fact.
Like,
I would have forgotten.
like holding a drink, like holding a martini.
Or something. But he's in a full tuxedo, chrome dome, everything, looks at the camera and says, "And a happy new year." And gives like a weird drooly smile. Fade to black, roll the credits. That's fucking Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 in a nutshell. I know we probably skipped a lot, but there's a lot also that doesn't happen in the middle of there. So I think we got most of it pretty well.
Yeah.
You get the gist of it. It's a goddamn this movie. With that said, though, we will move on to favorite kills.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
All right, Aaron, favorite kill.
How can we even pick one?
I don't know either. I don't know.
So many of them that are off screen. Almost all of them are off screen.
Yeah.
And the ones that are on screen are pathetic.
Pathetic.
Just awful.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start, man.
Normally, I'll start this. My favorite is just, it's fucking Ricky's. He just kills himself. And I'm like, okay, he's dead. The movie's over. That's my favorite kill. And I'm just bamboozled by the fact that how they shot that. Where he just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm killing myself. Yeah. Because that's exactly how it looks.
Sure looks like it, yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. There was a kill we missed, I just realized. The gas station attendant, I guess Ricky killed him, cut off his head and stuck it.
Yeah, I forgot about, but that's a good...
Again, off screen,
but the severed head effect looks good.
Yeah.
He stuck his head on the desk, and there's a pool of blood. And that was actually a good looking severed head. I'm sure it was just the head, the whole guy
just sitting underneath the desk.
Yeah, I'm sure it was that trick, but it looked good. We've
right.
seen could have been a lot worse. Did forget that one. Yeah. I'm still going Ricky because it ended the movie.
I think I'm gonna go with that too. Because I was just it looked pretty good too. Like in the impalement through the body didn't look bad, and it was like, we're done. Okay.
Yeah. No real nothing fancy here. We'll just end this shit. All right, let's move on to odds and ends.
Hey there, Puddins! Not only did Mr. M and Mr. A watch this movie, they researched it too. And they say I'm the crazy one.
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 3.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, there is no official thermometer score, but it has a 13% audience score. Amazon, now, this is hard to say for Amazon because the reviews that are there are for the box set movie collection that this comes in and not just the movie
by itself.
But the collection is a 4.3 out of 5 for the 4-movie collection. Plot keywords, there were 37. Nudity, female frontal nudity, murder of a nude woman, killer Santa Claus, which are really, sort of in the flashbacks. Sex, bone saw, and which I think that's what he uses to kill Santa with when he wakes up, with the bone saw. And then we didn't mention it in our go through, but there is a shit ton of plot placement for Pepsi in this movie, and so Pepsi and Pepsi Cola are also plot keywords. Everybody's drinking Pepsi. There's Pepsi cans everywhere. Pepsi vending machines. Yeah, it's all over. So that's that. Moving on to trivia for this week. There's a few things I was able to pick up on. One, this movie was largely rushed into production. The original script was discarded and rewritten within 1 week, which explains why it's so shitty and forced. Starting in March of 1989, principal photography had finished by the end of April. Editing was done in May, and the movie was first screened at a film festival in July.
Whoa.
Dr. Newberry's assistant is played by Melissa Hellman, the daughter of director Monty Hellman. She also reportedly assisted her father with the final draft of the script. The original screenplay of the movie was written by producer Arthur Gorson and S.J. Smith. Monty Hellman disliked the screenplay, however, and with Gorson's permission, hired Rick Weiner to write a completely new screenplay. This was further revised by Hellman himself, as his daughter Melissa Hellman and Stephen Gaydos. The rejected script by Gorson and Smith would eventually go on to form the basis of what eventually became Silent Night, Deadly Night 4.
Yeah.
So there's that. The movie at the gas station employee was watching on TV is called The Terror from 1963, which was also directed by Monty Hellman.
Yeah, they showed that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Director Monty Hellman attended a screening of the movie in July 2008 at the Alamo Drafthouse in Austin, Texas, where he said he thought it was his best work, although not his best movie, which I don't know if that's kind of contradictory, but whatever. So the scene where Ricky wakes up and kills the hospital Santa was originally filmed with. I already talked about that. Only thing is that when director Monty Hellman originally saw the scene, filmed it, the scene came across as overly mean-spirited, and on the last day of filming, he reshot the scene with Hellman himself now playing Santa while drinking and ad-libbing crude jokes to make his demise seem less cruel. So I guess because the Santa Claus wasn't...
You don't want to kill Santa. He's so jolly.
Yeah, so they need a reason, I guess, to make Santa a little more of a dick. So and that's all I could.
Should have been like elves, man.
Yeah.
You know, giving people the bird and doing lines of coke.
Oh, Coke Santa was the best. All right, moving on to 5-star reviews.
5 stars? 5 stars? These loonies must be crazier than I am. Lock 'em up.
All right, like I said earlier, the reviews on Amazon are for the 4-movie box collection, and not just for Silent Night, Dead Night 3. So I can't really do anything from there. So that means once again I had to go comb through the novels that are the IMDb reviews. So I wrote down 3 because, goddamn, all of them are so fucking long, and I didn't even want to read half of them because I didn't want to spend an hour reading through page-long reviews. So from Utgard14, who gives it a 2 out of 10, by the way.
Huh.
Yes, we'd better all watch out. Watch out for the terrible acting in this terrible series of slasher flicks. After the abysmal part 2, I can't believe anyone thought that Silent Night, Deadly Night series needed to continue, and I kind of agree with that. But it was the 80s, and crappy movies like these were very popular on home video. This time, the killer Santa, Ricky Caldwell, is awakened from a coma, naturally returns to killing people. There's also a blind psychic with a telepathic connection to killer. Her brother is an awesome perm and loves denim. They take a trip to see the grandmother and find Ricky instead. Samantha Scully is one of the worst actresses that ever lived. It's not surprising that her career was so brief. What is surprising is that her career didn't end with her first audition. She's exceptionally bad in this. Consider yourself warned. The movie is somewhat notable for being directed by co-director Monty Hellman, who does manage to imbue the film with more quirky weirdness than most 80s slashers. Sequel is also noticeable for a nice Laura Harring nude scene. Robert Culp had bills to pay, I guess, so he's the detective with one memorably awful scene discussing the merits of a car phone with his partner. It's really a dull chore of a movie to sit through, even the most avid slasher fan. The acting is incompetent, the pace sluggish, the kills unimaginative, and we can thank the good people at Ragu for the blood used in this. Avoid unless you really like garbage, and don't forget it's Piru, not Peru, which is the city where Grandma lived.
They did make mention of that.
Yes. From Joe Starr, the actress playing Laura in this flick is quote unquote my kid. Is that face a beautiful way to open a movie or what? I recommend the opening shot. I've seen the entire film only once, but I can come back to it again to see its only ... beauty. Weird. Yeah, like what?
Quote unquote my kid?
Yeah, not my kid, just quote unquote my kid.
Huh. How many stars?
Didn't give a star.
Oh.
At least not, I missed it then, but. So that's weird.
That's creepy.
Yeah, very creepy.
Very creepy Christmas to that guy.
Yeah, and lastly from Maisie Skinner, the original Silent Night, Day Night was one of the better and more well-constructed slasher films of the 80s. But what it spawned has been no less than god-awful. While Silent Night, Dead Night Part 2 was no prize, it still had a few inspired moments and laugh-out-loud campy elements to make it keep one's interest. Silent Night, Dead Night 3 takes itself as seriously as a heart attack, yet features a telepathic killer with a giant fishbowl on his head for the entire runtime of the movie. Yes, Ricky Part 2 wasn't killed at the end of that film, but taken to asylum where he's been dormant long enough to shapeshift into a completely different actor and wears a strange device to protect his brain from leaking out? It's never really made clear. He's developed a strange telepathic link with the world's surliest and most unlikable blind girl, and he breaks out and goes after her and her family. Slasher film sequels are known for nutty, ridiculous concepts, of Silent Night, Day Night 3 it isn't unique in this regard. Where it is unique is the sloppy and lethargic execution. Everyone involved in this film seems to have been tranquilized before they arrived on set. And for such a short film, which is not short, it's basically average, it sure does move at a snail's pace. Surely the death scene should be the film's saving grace, but even those feel like they came from an edited for TV print and have no impact whatsoever. I think she gave like a 2 or 3 2 stars, 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
2 out of 10.
Dude, she nailed it there, saying everyone basically phoned it in.
Yeah.
No one had any like passion. No one was really giving it their all. I mean, you muted Bill Moseley. I mean, he did Texas 2, where he was Chop Top before this. We've seen him be really great and really captivating the screen and being really crazy and weird, and you have him going, ugh, for the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, why did you use him? Why didn't you could use anybody else. I know he's a name, but
yeah, exactly.
if you're going to use him, use his strengths, not his...
If you want to have if you want somebody to just be a silent goon of a character, get somebody at least more physically opposing then.
Right, because Ricky was a big dude. I mean, he wasn't like giant, but he was cut.
He was at least beefy.
Intimidating.
He was,
like, he'd be a guy I wouldn't want to mess with.
Yeah, and Bill Moseley just looks like a sickly old man. Like, really not old, but like he actually looks surprisingly old in this movie.
Yeah.
For as young as he was.
Real pale.
Yeah, and he's gaunt and just, he does not look good. So that's their thoughts. Just make it our final thoughts and close this shit out. Aaron, go ahead, take it away.
It was the late 80s, early 90s. It seemed like this is that time when horror movies were going towards, or a lot of I guess movies or avant-garde were going towards like Twin Peaks or X-Files or things of that nature. And it seemed to kind of cut from that same cloth, where they took themselves very serious, slow development, psychic abilities, something a little more secret and weird. It sucked.
Yeah.
It really did. It did not work out. I'm interested to hear if David Lynch has actually seen this movie, considering he casted three people. Yeah. 3 people from this for his for Twin Peaks, 2 for Twin Peaks and 1 for Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. And there is definitely some David Lynchian feeling to this movie, but not in a good way. So I'm saying So Bad It's Scary. And Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 were fun. They were fun. The Santa Claus killer going around saying naughty, punish, weird, great kills, weird quips, cheesy dialogue. And those were fun. And they took all of that away from this movie. None. They left none. It's like Santa Claus coming down the chimney and someone already ate your cookies. Fuck. Just, God damn it. Those stockings were not hung with care. So Bad It's Scary.
Those stockings were filled with shit is what was happening. Like, Santa came down the chimney and just filled your stockings with shit in this movie.
Unloaded in there.
100% agree. So Bad It's Scary. And you really nailed it right when you said, like, everything about the first movies, they just took away from this one. And Grant, I did not like number 2. You can listen to my theories on it from our past. Go back and listen to those episodes. But like I said earlier, I would still rather watch that again than this one. At least it still was somewhat connected more to the first movie.
It was 1.5.
Other than like just having the character's name be Ricky, there's really no connection other than that one flashback scene of where they showed from number 1 again that links any of this to the previous 2 movies.
Exactly.
And it might as well not even be that. It's terrible in every possible way. The writing's bad, the acting's bad, the dialogue, it's just uninspired and lazy. I feels like I don't know what the hell they were doing with this sci-fi fishbowl brain thing that they didn't like. Okay, if they're gonna do something with that, like hash it out some more. Like focus more on that. Maybe. Okay, if you're gonna go fucking wackadoodle here, go all in wackadoodle. Say he's now got like fucking weird ass psychic mental powers, and that he's like killing people by using telekinetics or zapping people with like brain lightning or something.
Brain lightning,
like lasers or like lightning shoots off that antenna on the top of his head for no other reason. Like do something really out there. If you're gonna go this route, because why does he even have this dome? I was like, other than just having a dumbass crazy, like, hey, no, it'd be cool. Let's just have his brain and have a fishbowl in his head. Because that's the only reason they're there.
If you're
other than just some stupid aesthetic reason that makes zero sense.
If you're gonna go wacky, make it fun.
Make it incorporated into the story, the character, but it's not. It's just there, which makes it look even stupider because it's not. There's no purpose behind it in the first place. So, yeah, like, there could have been maybe something there. Like, maybe Wes Craven could have done something like that, maybe worth it or something more creative. Well, I'm not kind of maybe like a shocker as, like, he got a little wacky.
Yeah.
Or like, like I said, like you have a girl with telepathic powers. Do more with that. She's supposed to be powerful. Use the Force,
right?
Laura.
And nothing happened.
Nothing does it. She doesn't.
She used a broken stick.
So it's like they just threw all that out the window and did nothing. Absolutely terrible. So bad, scary. Don't watch this one. I shudder to think about how bad 4 and 5 are going to be when we get to those next year. But who knows? Maybe it's going to be like, maybe at that point they've given up on the Billy Ricky story. And it's like, you know what? We're just going to
use the name.
We're going to use the name. And it's going to be a whole new thing.
I bet that's what happens.
I'm thinking that's what happens too.
So,
sorry. Yeah. Hope you guys were able to sit through this. I know it wasn't a typical normal episode, but hopefully we didn't fuck it up too bad. And we're still somewhat entertaining for you guys. Like I said, we got Christmas a few days away, which is on a Wednesday, so we should be able to be back next week after the weekend after Christmas. Hopefully, I'm not going to say it is because soon things fucking change. Every time I say it on here, we end up getting fucked up. But hopefully, we will, since it's still technically December, we will close out December with one last Christmas horror movie. Because Christmas is right in the middle of the weekend, so
right.
And then we'll move on to 2020 for who knows what.
Good God. Merry Christmas, all the Moon Goons out there. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate it.
Hope this wasn't too bad for you guys.
Yeah, I want to say Merry Christmas to the Samples, to Coffee Doug, to the guys at the to Here Comes the Spooky podcast, Cincinnati Jeff and Nachos McWerewolf. Thank you so much, guys.
And also, I want to say, I'll say a Merry Christmas and a big, big, big thank you to all of our Patreons out there who have been donating and sending us information, suggestions and ideas. I love you guys. Which reminds me, if you're not a Patreon, you want to be a Patreon, help support the show, we would love that. I know holidays is a little tight, so we understand, but anything you can do to help.
When you get that Christmas money.
When you get your Christmas money. Also, we mentioned it, I think, last episode, which was 2 weeks ago now. But we were thinking about doing a Q&A bonus episode, bonus kind of the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, pretty much anything, it can be horror movie related about the show, it can be about anything. I don't. If you just want to ask some stupid questions, feel free to send us some questions. And if we get enough, we'll do a whole episode with a Q&A where we answer all your listeners' questions about anything, whatever, and who knows what. So you can send those questions to our Instagram page, our Facebook page, or email them directly to us at sobaditscary@gmail.com. And when we get enough in, I'll do an episode. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Christmas.
Happy holidays. And remember, watch more horror movies and always keep it tight.